In this podcast episode, host and guest Dr. Mei Rui explore the profound impact that music has on human biology and neurology, revealing cutting-edge research and clinical trials that show how music modulates brain activity, influences emotional and physiological states, and serves as a natural medicine. Dr. Rui, a molecular biophysicist, classical pianist, and yoga teacher, shares her multifaceted journey and insights into the intersections of music, neuroscience, and healing. The conversation touches on music's evolutionary roots, its effects under anesthesia, nuances of musical intervals, brainwave states during listening and performance, and how intentional engagement with music can enhance mental well-being and neuroprotection. Dr. Mei Rui discusses how music uniquely engages every critical area of the brain, far more than any other human activity, including sport, chess, or surgery. She highlights research demonstrating music's potent effects on reducing stress hormones, notably showing a 32% reduction in cortisol levels in neurosurgical cancer patients, a result stronger than many FDA-approved pharmaceuticals, but without the harsh side effects such drugs can exhibit. Music, described as a natural narcotic, can offer protection against neurodegeneration and enhance emotional regulation. Dr. Rui also discusses ongoing clinical trials where music's impact during awake brain surgeries is measured to understand how specific acoustic environments enhance patient well-being. The episode emphasizes that the auditory system is the first sensory system to develop fully in utero during the third trimester, and also the last to deteriorate at death. This early maturation explains why sounds and music deeply affect us, even under sedation or general anesthesia. Dr. Rui notes that contrary to earlier beliefs, what patients hear in the operating room does influence their physiological state. Different types of music can either calm or overstimulate patients, affecting heart rate and the body's stress response during critical medical procedures. The podcast delves into why certain musical intervals, like the minor third, universally evoke feelings of sadness or introspection. Dr. Rui explains from both a musical and scientific perspective that minor thirds mimic a human sigh and tend to feel more releasing, whereas major thirds evoke brightness or uplift. Interestingly, self-reported relaxation responses to major or minor tonalities are roughly split, and minor key music can be more effective for listeners experiencing depression or trauma as it resonates with their current emotional state. Music therapy can thus meet patients where they are and guide them gently toward more positive moods through carefully curated progressions. Dr. Rui emphasizes the complexity in choosing music for therapeutic settings due to the vast range of compositional elements: tempo, timbre, instrumentation, and dynamic structure. A piece with a slow, calm start might have an explosive climax that could be counterproductive in clinical environments. Instrumental music, particularly cello and the mid to low range of the piano, is preferred for relaxation because their tonal frequencies are aligned with the human soothing voice. Vocal music is generally avoided in sensitive settings to prevent cognitive overload. The therapeutic playlists integrate novelty and familiarity to stimulate dopamine production without overwhelming listeners. The podcast touches on the physicality of sound and vibration affecting the body. Dr. Rui discusses ancient and indigenous traditions where instruments like drums or gongs were used for healing, highlighting the field of cymatics that visually reveals sound's geometric patterns. These vibrations permeate every cell and influence neurochemical cascades, supporting the idea that music's healing power extends beyond the brain to the whole body. Tools like tuning forks and wave chimes are also explored as modern instruments in sound healing, connecting ancient wisdom with scientific inquiry. Dr. Rui reflects on her early life as a classical pianist, spending hours daily at the piano, which served as her primary mode of communication. She explains that music fosters profound human connection, syncing cardiovascular and neural rhythms among audiences and cultivating empathy across cultures and languages. Studies show that listening to classical music benefits people even without prior exposure, with women statistically showing greater anxiety reduction. Music's universality and ability to engender shared emotional experiences speak to its unique position as a bridge between scientific insight and humanistic expression. The guest highlights research showing that musical training not only strengthens structural brain symmetry, but offers significant neuroprotective effects. Longitudinal studies in twins demonstrated a remarkable 64% reduction in risk for neurodegeneration and cognitive decline among those with years of instrumental music training. Even short-term listening enhances global brain efficiency, meaning the speed and coordination of communication across brain regions increase significantly. These findings underscore music's potential as a preventive and restorative practice for brain health across the lifespan. The conversation explores what happens neurologically when musicians and listeners enter flow states, a mental zone of complete immersion and creativity. EEG data reveals increased theta wave activity during flow, associated with heightened creativity. For performers, technical mastery allows muscle memory to take over, suppressing hyper-awareness of minutiae. The presence of an audience amplifies this state, creating a spiritual experience where the distinction between musician and music dissolves. For listeners seeking focus or flow while working, appropriately selected background music can support similar mental states. Dr. Rui discusses the cascade of neurotransmitters released during intentional music listening, including dopamine, a chemical linked to reward, motivation, and pleasure. Anticipation of familiar musical climaxes triggers dopamine surges that often outpace the pleasure derived from food. Unique to music, repeated listening increases sensitivity rather than tolerance, deepening emotional connection over time. Oxytocin levels also rise with music exposure, promoting feelings of trust and bonding, which helps explain music's role in social cohesion and stress reduction. The episode contrasts active music making with passive listening. Playing, especially on a complex instrument like piano, engages both hemispheres symmetrically and involves motor, sensory, cognitive, and emotional brain areas extensively. Violinists' brains show enhanced asymmetry corresponding to limb use. Even amateur musicians enjoy benefits of neuroplasticity and cognitive enhancement. Listening, depending on attention level, can range from background stimulation to deep, immersive emotional processes. Both modes confer distinct but overlapping neurological advantages. Dr. Rui advocates for cultivating mindful listening habits by curating personalized playlists that align with circadian rhythms and desired outcomes, whether relaxation, stimulation, or sleep aid. She notes that commercialized, repetitive, or lyrically triggering music can provoke anxiety or trauma responses, especially in vulnerable individuals. Awareness of one's acoustic environment is powerful and easily accessible as a wellness tool. Even brief, intentional music engagement can modulate heart rate variability and immune markers, strengthening resilience and emotional regulation. The scientific discussion is interwoven with reflections on music's ancient roots in healing, spirituality, and societal bonding. References to Plato, Aristotle, and Sufi musicians illustrate music's enduring significance as a medium for realizing higher states of consciousness and repairing the soul. The universality of music transcends divisions, creating shared spaces and experiences. Dr. Rui sees her research not only advancing clinical care, but reconnecting modern society with music's profound humanistic and transcendent qualities. The episode culminates with a live demonstration where the host wears an EEG cap while Dr. Rui performs a classical piano piece. The brain's electrical activity and cardiovascular responses are monitored in real time, showing dynamic oscillations across multiple networks, including default mode, salience, and executive regions. The music's narrative arc evokes shifting emotional states, balancing sympathetic and parasympathetic activation. This immersive experience offers tangible proof of music's capacity to orchestrate complex brain processes, evoking chills, emotional release, and heightened cortical efficiency simultaneously.